Okay, this is the Quad Cortex from Neural DSP, and this is my first time with a modeler like this. And I think it's a pretty good place to start, and I have to thank Sweetwater for sponsoring the video and providing the unit, so huge thanks to them. And you have to understand something about Sweetwater. It's just a name. They don't even have water or branded water called Sweetwater. I was there and I looked, and that has nothing to do with the video, so let's move on. Anyways, up until this point, I've been a solid state or tube amp and mic guy. Clearly, you can see behind me here. And I've dabbled, is that even a word? I've dabbled? I've fiddled around with some forms of amp modeling, like amps that have modelers in them, like the Katana Catalyst from Line 6, the Fender Tone Master, but I've never owned nor played with a complex system like this. This is a computer. Hey kid, I'm a computer. So this is my first impressions after using it for a couple weeks. I've taken some time with it because it's simple, but it's complex. I'm going to say it's more on the complex side. And so in the future, I'll do more stuff, more of a long-term review, and play around with it a lot more because there's a lot of stuff to take in and learn. And if you can't learn stuff sometimes, like I can't learn words and things, then it's tough. So I've been trying my best to And I know it was released in 2020, so I'm jumping in 4 years after the launch, so I don't have any clue what it was like when it first came out. From the wiki though, which I'll just read and quote here. Upon its release in 2020, Neural DSP claimed the Quad Cortex was the most powerful floor modeler on the market, with 2 gigahertz in digital signal processing power via 4 Shark Plus processors. The Cortex shipped with 50 available guitar and bass amp models, 70 effects, and 1,000 impulse responses. It also had competitors like the Fractal Axe effects and Line 6 Helix floor modeler. Line 6 Helix floor modeler did not I can't read. They're saying this one had shit that the other ones didn't have. And that was the claim of fame. Cortex also has companion software that allows users to capture or digitally recreate their own analog guitar gear and share it with other users via the Cortex cloud. If anybody was going to say, look at you reading the wiki page. No, I had trouble with that. So that's what someone will say in the comments. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. And that's when somebody gives you a sarcastic compliment. So I unboxed the system. Actually, let's see that. I did it. Let's do it. It actually unboxed itself. Check this out. This is pretty amazing technology. It even unboxes itself. And then I connected it to my Wi-Fi so it could take over my, it's like Skynet. Once you plug in, it takes over your whole network. I ran the system update to get the latest software. So we're running Core OS 3.0.1. And it's Linux-based, which I think is cool. And I have a history as a sysadmin for Linux systems. So good for not running Windows. Why? I don't know. Who cares? Anyways, what have I tried with it so far? Because it can do a lot of stuff plugged into analog amps directly into the D25 down there. So you can plug in, play out the speaker. It sounds decent. I thought the low end was kind of missing a little bit compared to the amp by itself. Again, there's a lot of settings, so I might have missed something. And again, this is just the first impressions. Headphones, sounds fine. Whoops, sorry. You behave. Headphones sounded good. If it doesn't sound good on headphones, then there's a problem. I went direct to my computer here, which is a Mac Studio with XLR. I thought that sounds really good. Like live playing with XLR sounds awesome through these monitors here. And I used a Mackie Showbox room. I used a Mackie Showbox PA system, and that sounded all right. Sounded good. I also use it as a digital audio workstation, so you can have it go USB into your computer, and then it's a DAW, and that sounded good. And I did run into an issue at first. I tried going USB out of the Quad Cortex into Thunderbolt on my Mac. That didn't work. It needs USB direct. You have to have a USB to USB connection, as far as I can tell. So yeah, can't go through like a Thunderbolt hub. That doesn't work. And if you didn't notice, I'm not saying anything sounds amazing at this point. The next thing that I tried was the neural capture, which is supposed to be the flagship feature. And I gotta say, it's pretty cool. So I captured my Rev D25 that has a Jensen 12-inch speaker. Very fast capture, like under 10 minutes. And I also captured Princeton, my blue Princeton over on the shelf there. It's got a 12-inch Alnico blue. I've done them both, and I've been playing around with them, and they sound great. That sounds really good. And you've already been hearing them, so you can let me know what you think of those. Those are the two captures I've done. There's just so much stuff. It's kind of overwhelming because like I've gone from simple amp mic guy to massive powerful computer. So my first impressions, I made notes when I got the system. I've had it for a few weeks and I've been, jotting down things as I note them. I had it sitting on my desk for a while, so I didn't have it on the floor. If you have it on an angle on your desk, the screen is dim from an angle. I didn't find the screen was that great. On the floor, it's fine, looking straight on. Touch sensitivity is decent. It's not like an iPad Pro, which is super smooth and amazing, but it works well. The build quality, though, it's like a Boss pedal. Like I wouldn't be concerned about falling on it. Don't fall on it, but I wouldn't be concerned about it. If you fell on it, I'd be more concerned about you. I think you got to go see a doctor. First thing I think I plugged into was the PA, the Mackie Showbox. I didn't love it. The sound, I was like, this doesn't sound great. It's a PA. It's not an amp, right? Nothing I've played through a PA sounds as good as an amp. So I'm always comparing in my head a real tube amp to everything else. At first, I couldn't figure out the loaded setting name on the screen is a button. So I couldn't get out of the menus and back. I was like, oh, this is a button? I'm going to show that on screen so you know what I'm talking about. That's a button. Make a square around it or something so I can know things, because I didn't know. That was the only technical issue I had. Got stuck. I kind of got stuck there. It's expensive. Last time I checked, $16.99. But there's a but, right? I'll get to that in a second. Bit of a learning curve. Not extreme, but it's definitely, you got to read some stuff and learn some things. Capturing is very fast, if I didn't mention that already. Does it sound as good as a tube amp to me? So far, no. But is it really cool and worth the money? Yes. I say why, because the versatility and the functionality. Everything this thing can do, it's not just a processor sitting on the floor or like an effects processor. It does so much stuff. So much stuff. So much things. And now after trying this machine, this computer, I can look at other systems on the market that exist currently and have a comparison in mind. Because before, I just see all these new things coming out, and I didn't know if they were good or not. And now I have a benchmark. I think the benchmark's pretty high, starting with this. Let me know if you're an early adopter to this system and what has changed in the 4 years. I'm not going to go through the changelog and read everything, but I'm sure there's some really good things. Is there anything that you wish had been changed since the release and they haven't fixed yet? Let me know. That's all I got to say about it today, but it's pretty cool. And as always, play guitar and have fun, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Okay, this is the Quad Cortex from Neural DSP, and this is my first go with a modeler. And this is my first go with a modeler. And this is my first go with a modeler like this. Let's try that again.